Hello Team ProGuides and welcome back to another video about underrated picks. My name is Nathan Ng and I'll be your host for this video. These champions that we're going to be going over are all sleeper OP characters that can dominate the current meta if placed into the right hands. Now before we get started though, our question of the day is what non-meta champion do you enjoy playing? Personally, I like to play Zyra because of her insane damage output and carry potential. And if played correctly, she could be a huge thorn in your side. Leave your answers in the comment section down below and I look forward to seeing what champion I get to try next. And lastly, before we get started, make sure to join our Discord and check out ProGuides.com. There we have courses from your favorite pro players like Doublelift and many challenger level coaches that can take your gameplay to the next level. We also have daily live classes from top tier instructors like Zyrene and Mike Young. Don't miss out on these great opportunities to improve and join the community. And with that all being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Leading off our list in the top lane is the Steel Shadow Camille. Being one of the few champions that dances on the outskirts of the meta, Camille always finds herself back into the game when split pushers become relevant. As you guys may know, Camille's Q has two parts of it, the first of it being an empowered auto attack that gives her movement speed. The second part can be casted after 1.5 seconds and does true damage based on the level. A quick side note for her Q is to use her Qs as auto attack resets to cancel attack animations for more damage. An ability that can be used in conjunction with her wait time on precision protocol is her hookshot that can attach to any terrain and launch at any champion with double the range. Just make sure to land your E to gain a massive amount of attack speed to out DPS your opponent. Her ult is called the Hex Tech Ultimatum, which sounds extremely dope. It creates a zone on a targeted champion where they cannot leave while giving you bonus damage against them. Camille will always be that strong split pusher, so make sure to have her ready to go in your back pocket when the opportunity presents itself. Our second top laner will be the man that holds the big barrel, Gragas. Yeah, surprisingly, he is going to be an underrated pick for the top lane. He actually wins a lot of top lane matchups versus both tanks and range with Phase Rush. Look to poke out champions with barrel rolls and you'll slowly sustain with the passive Happy Hour that heals 6% of his maximum health. It's a deal that not even Starbucks can match, and Starbucks is kind of a ripoff. Now, I don't really condone drinking, but, well, when you're Gragas, you don't really have a choice. Transitioning to Gragas' W's Drunken Rage, upon activation, this ability reduces incoming damage for 2.5 seconds and does bonus magic damage based off of the opponent's maximum health. His E is a body slam that allows him to travel in any direction and upon impact with something, knocks back and stuns enemies. Make sure to use your barrel roll or your ultimate mid body slam to output unexpected combos on the enemies because they won't see that coming. Lastly, the ultimate, which is a Yasuo setup, is known as Explosive Cask. Gragas hurls a barrel to a location, knocking them back depending on the target location, so use this knockback to hit enemies into your teammates. Gragas is really rewarding in the top lane, so hunker down and have a drink before locking them in, and by drink I mean boba or coffee. Maybe don't be drunk in my games. Evelynn is our first jungler to main in our underrated list. The assassin is particularly good in lower ELO because of her ability to catch out targets because many players will not purchase control wards. Game sense is Evelynn's bread and butter, so think about where the squishy targets could be and go and hunt them down and stack up those Magis. Your objective is to farm and reach level 6 before you can turn invisible and get free kills, so here's a rundown of her abilities. Her Q, Hate Spike, launches a dart in a direction which refunds 50% of the cooldown if it hits a monster and can be reactivated 3 times, which unleashes more spikes and maybe Carpal Tunnel. This ability is normally used to proc her W where she curses an enemy champion or monster for up to 5 seconds. After 2.5 seconds, damaging the target will charm them and allow you to output all of your damage for free. Evelynn's E allows her to dash towards the target and deals damage while applying on hit effects. Lichbane. Lastly, her ultimate allows her to become untargetable and blinks back 700 units. As she dashes away, she strikes the location in front of her, dealing magic damage with enemies below 30% HP, receiving a whopping 140% maximum damage, so, well, use this ability to finish off them low targets. Evelynn is a wild jungle pick, so if you want to get spicy, this is definitely the pick for you. Similarly to Evelynn, we have another assassin, Amumu. But wait, isn't Amumu a tank? No. The Sad Mummy is one of the best enablers for magic damage champions in himself and for his teammates. Whenever he damages a target, he curses them, making them receive 10% bonus true damage from all sorts of magic damage. But before we can get to that part, you need to get into his team fighting, which we present his bandage toss. This is where Amumu tosses out a bandage and stuns the first enemy hit, dragging himself to them and will allow him to use the rest of his abilities. Once you're grabbed onto the target, you could use your W, Despair. This is a toggle ability that creates tiers around Amumu that deals damage every half a second depending on the opponent's maximum health. On top of that, his E is him throwing a tantrum around him that deals damage but is refreshed every time that he is hit by a basic attack. So more often than not, if the enemy team has any melee characters, picking Amumu will be effective in constant damage output and crowd control. So according to the ProGuides fandom, Amumu is probably just the embodiment of who I am as a champion. So speaking of CC, Amumu's ultimate is called Curse of the Sad Mummy, where he will entangle everybody around him in a radius, rooting and disarming them for 2 seconds and then dealing damage. With that all being said, make sure you show some love to the little mummy, as you will not be regretting it. For our first mid laner, it's a champion that we have mentioned before, but it will be Malzahar. While the characters won't be super flashy like Lee Sin or Yasuo, he is very straightforward. Malzahar focuses on clearing waves with his abilities and roaming to help side lanes get ahead. Your passive is a shield that refreshes depending on your level and helps block out enemy crowd controls and reduces damage taken by 90%. This will help you deal with champions engages such as Sintra Stun, Annie Flash Stun, and Ashe Arrows. He can use his E on the wave to apply a dot effect that slowly eats away at the enemy's health bar. If the E kills its target, it will jump to the nearest enemy in range. From there, he can use his W to spawn voidlings that will pursue and attack whatever target he's marked with the Z. His Q is a void pulse that pincers inwards, applying magic damage to enemies and refreshing the duration of his E. This combo can be used to heavily damage an enemy or declare a minion wave to roam. When the teamfights come around, you just press R on an enemy carry and then hold them down for your teammates to clean them up. And if you want to go against Malzahar, you have to pay the QSS tax. So just by choosing Malzahar, you're weakening their item spikes. We're going to be taking a 180 here with something a little bit spicier, and that's going to be Tristana in the mid lane. This little Yordle has all the tools needed to bully a mage mid because of all of her threat and pushing power. Her E explodes nearby minions, which makes it easy to push paired up with her jump, so at any given time, if the enemy mid laner oversteps, do not be afraid to jump on them and activate off your abilities and proc PTA and then refresh your jump. Once you gain the lead and force the enemy to reset, use your E in conjunction with your Q to attack towers and take plating. Since you're an ADC, more often than not, enemies will try to get on top of you to take you down. In this case, you have your ultimate ability Buster Shot, which fires a cannonball at your opponent, knocking them back, allowing you to escape. Run Ignite to secure more kills, and the Yordle Gunner will be your ticket to winning. And just like Tristana, you really need to be jumping on this pick. Now we're going to be talking about the ADCs, starting with Twitch. Twitch is our first ADC to pick up. He is an iconic champion with very few updates or changes throughout the years, but still packs the heat as a hyper carry. His laning phase may not really compare to his counterparts, but in any given extended trade, you can win. With Halo Blade stacked with his W, he can stack up to 6 passive procs and expunge his opponents with his E for some heavy damage. And if that's not enough, he's able to go invisible with his Q and then roam mid from base for a free kill or to simply assassinate somebody out of position. All of these are great tools, but where Twitch really shines the most is in his ultimate, Spray and Pray. It's literally in the name of the ability, but once activated he gains 3 bonus attack range and his attacks fly out as bolts. This applies all on hit effects, so pair this up with Runin's Hurricane and Red Buff and you're gonna be sure to get a pentakill. For our second pick, we're gonna go with the Machine Herald Victor. Victor may not be the strongest traditional ADC that you were expecting, but his mid and late game power spikes are just as strong. The main reason we're including him is his ability to poke enemies in lane and then clear waves quickly once he gets his E upgrade. His Q upgrade gives him survivability and guaranteed damage needed to trade with opponents with movement speed and shielding. However, where the Victor players will really shine is their ability to place his W, Gravity Field. It zones out the opponents from entering areas and can render the opponents useless. If you want to stop getting blown up by mages in the bot lane, then hey, why not play a mage yourself and then shut the enemies down with Victor. For our first support pick, we're going to be going with the boss himself, Set. Support Set players will understand their champion is busted due to the fact that they can constantly keep engaging on enemy players for free kills. Let's break down why exactly you want to do this in the bottom lane. Once Set has already burnt Flash and make a play work, he now has Hex Flash. So when Set activates Hex Flash, he gains a burst of movement speed from Nimbus Cloak and his Q when he's walking towards an opponent. After all, how can he beat the shit out of someone if he doesn't get closer to them? From there, he can stun his opponents with his E. After that, the rest is history as Set and the ADC do way too much damage for the enemies to escape. Don't forget that you can also use your ultimate to peel off your squishy teammates to knock opponents away and give them more breathing room to DPS. This character is really underrated in low levels of gameplay and can net a lot of LP because enemies often disrespect his engage potential. And last but not least, we have Maokai. Maokai rarely sees play in the bottom lane, but this tree has the tools needed to be a tank support. His main ability during the laning phase is his sapling toss, which chases enemies and does a lot of damage if they originated from the bush. As we can see, there are 3 brushes in the bottom lane, so it is very easy to zone opponents away and take control of the laning phase. Aside from that, you have the best tool in the game to help heal your ADC with the point and click W, which will allow you to fly to target and then root them. This will give you an easier time to follow up with your abilities, starting with your Q. His Q is called Bramble Smash, and it sends out a wave knocking back nearby targets and slowing them for 99% for 0.25 seconds. With his ultimate, he sends out a wave of roots that travel really slowly, but then holds down the opponents caught in it for a very long time depending on the distance traveled. So look up to pick up Maokai if your playstyle is deeply rooted in being a tank support. And that's going to conclude our latest episode of Underrated Picks. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to join our Discord below, where we have tons of coaching, giveaways, and community events. Lastly, don't forget to visit our website ProGuides.com, where you can receive coaching from pro players, watch live classes, and improve with courses from pro players. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and also ring that notification bell for more content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.